टीच ऑनलाइन की टीच टॉक में साइमा आपके सामने। डिस्कशंस होती रही, हमने बहुत सारी चीज़ों को हाइलाइट किया। आज हम थोड़ी-सी डिस्कशन आयदा के साथ भी करने वाले हैं। आयदा इज़ राइट ओवर हियर विद अस। अ, वेयर आर यू?
I'm right
बहुत
here.
yeah, 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 definitely she's here. So let's have a start करते हैं। आप ज्वाइन करते रहिएगा, कमेंट्स करते रहिएगा, बिल्कुल भी कनेक्टेड रहिएगा। एक मिनट के लिए भी इधर उधर होने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज देयर इज लॉट दैट वी नीड टू डिस्कस एंड इट्स वेरी important for us being a woman, important for those who are around us. Okay, so let's be connected and let's see what Aida has to say. But initially, she has to introduce herself. So, Aida, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Saima. My name is Aida Tasneem Zafar. I am the founder at Femtor. It's a little organization that helps that deals with training and skill development for both men and women. Um, I wouldn't say the primary focus is women, but yes, a major focus of the organization is skill development, professional skill development of women for women in different fields, whether it is teaching, in soft skill development, or even business and communication development.
Wow, that's interesting. So, you're working on with women, particularly for women. That seems like we want to work with particularly women. Why is that so, Aida? Why do you think it's important to work with women?
Because I think that women nowadays, there's a huge interest. There's a very big interest from women, right, in trying to upskill themselves. There is a need for it in the market. There is a very need. There is a huge lack of skilled labor in the market. A lot of the time, different fields, different jobs come up, and there isn't enough skilled labor to fill it. Now, women make up 50% of the job market.
Right.
But generally, when you talk about statistics, women are less likely to upskill themselves. They're very happy being where they are. They usually don't get a push from behind, nor do they get a push from the inside. You know that we need to, uh, you know, we need to develop ourselves and we need to move forward. That is why there's a big, huge gap in the market. And I believe that with the right push, with the right tools, with the right training, women can definitely, very easily, both balancing all factors of their life, all factions of their life, move forward.
And there is one research data that I would like to discuss with you, Aida, in particular. Maybe that it may relate to what you want to talk about today. I was just going through this research data wherein it says that in 2022, the skill sets that the employee would be requiring will not be there in the individuals. That means in 2022, the skill set required for the job will not be there with the individuals, and that's why most of them will be phased out. Many people will be phased out in that particular time, that is 2022. And also, does it relate to more of female, because that this is the gender which is least upskilling themselves?
Yes, exactly. See, when we talk about statistics, that is very relevant. If we women make up 50% of the labor market, right? Only 16% of the women are actually upskilling themselves and going into technical fields. Out of those 16%, only 6% of women are entering the STEM related fields, technical fields, things to do with research. Many of us are not even going to study, even if we don't even in colleges, only 12% of women choose STEM related fields to study in. And those that do study it, only a few of them actually go on to work. Why? Because the industries are just generally not women friendly. This is a huge epidemic and it's everywhere in the world. Um, let's face it, the workplace is just not women friendly. Um, but it's not just about the workplace. When we talk about women, there are three factors to think about over here.
Mhm.
I want, if it's okay with you, Saima, can I go through some statistics just to give an idea
Go
to
ahead.
women how the real idea of how bad this is? Because when you talk about it, first of all, the first thing that I notice when I talk to women about this, is they're unaware. They have no idea about the real statistics because a lot of them don't notice. For example, when you walk into a training or you walk into a conference hall,
Uh-huh.
have you ever sat down and noticed, oh, there are so few women? Or maybe in my case, like in a couple of times I've noticed I am the only woman. This a year ago I walked into a conference hall for a meeting with a bunch of people, and I was the only woman there. It was so strange. It was a very strange experience for me because I noticed, and when I mentioned it to a colleague of mine who was male, he was like, "Oh, I mean, why is that even important?" It is important. It's important for us to be talking about this, but before we even get to talking about it, it's important that we notice it. Where are the women? Where are you, women? Women in the audience, where are you? You're not in the workforce. You're not in the media. You're not visible. I don't see you anywhere. I mean, we don't see you anywhere. When you think about media, there are very few households in the world where there isn't a television at home. How many women can say, okay, they don't watch TV? Almost everybody watches TV. Popular shows over here range from news channels to talk shows. Talk shows are so big over here. Morning shows, almost everybody's watching them. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at these shows, you have hosts looking very pretty, and many of them are women. Yes, I grant you that. But when you talk about a news item or when you talk about some sort of research or any topic where there's a requirement of an expert in the field of STEM or medicine or nutrition or anything like that, how many of those people are women? Hardly
Hard.
any. Mostly it's men. Unless there's a need for a gynecologist, she might be a woman, but the need for that is very, very little. If you bring somebody in to talk about cancer or anything else research based, it's primarily men, right? So this has to do with visibility.
Mhm.
Okay, so um, since 1995, right?
But there's one more
There's
thing
been
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but there's one more thing that I would
please.
like to connect over here. Maybe I may connect or I may not connect, but I want to clarify it over here. See, when you talked about going into the training room and seeing that there are more males around, but in our field, where in the education field, it's not the case. Wherein there are more females, of course, there are more females, so they are more into training. But the issue is not that we are training them for future, but we are training them for today because they were never trained in the past. So we are trying to bring them to this level, not take them to the forward level. Because see, we I don't know if people are aware of it or not, but there is a lot of focus on automation. There's a lot of focus on machine learning. There's a lot of focus on artificial intelligence. Teachers are still reluctant to take the basic learning over here wherein the technology is involved. Even if it is about teaching with technology, teachers have been they are apprehensive about it, they are not comfortable with it, and they are going back. So somehow or the other feel that whatever we have been training teachers for was to bridge the gap which was there somewhere at the back. It is a backlog which needs to be filled. They are still somewhere sitting somewhere in, let's say 1980. So we have to bring them to this age, and that's why we are training them. But we are not training them for future. That is something that I would relate with you. So Aida is disconnected in one way. Let's take her from the you know let's take her from here. Hello, Aida. We can still see you. Aida, can you hear us? Okay, let her fix her this system. Otherwise, we are going to continue talking. हाँ, तो हम बात ये कर रहे थे कि जितनी भी फीमेल्स को हम टीचिंग फील्ड में ट्रेन करते हैं, वो टीचर्स हैं जिनको हम आज के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं। लेकिन अगर हम इसकी बात करें कि हम इनको आगे के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत चैलेंजिंग है, क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो कि इवन टीचर्स अभी के लिए भी रिलक्टेंट है कि वो ये भी नहीं यूज़ करना चाहती, टेक्नोलॉजी भी नहीं यूज़ करना चाहती, या जो भी उनको एक बैरियर फील हो रहा है कि नहीं ये तो नहीं हो सकता, पॉसिबिलिटी ही नहीं है। लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग कि दुनिया भर में दुनिया भर में डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री में यही हो रहा है, जहाँ पे मशीन लर्निंग पे या आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पे या ऑटोमेशन पे आहिस्ता आहिस्ता लोग जा रहे हैं। कि उससे क्या होता है कि उसमें टीचर की नीड कम होती जाती है, लेकिन स्किल सेट डिफरेंट चाहिए होता है। यानी कि लैंग्वेज प्रोफिशिएंसी चाहिए और आपके टेक्निकल स्किल चाहिए फॉर यू बीइंग अ टीचर। तो आर वी प्रिपेयरिंग आवर सेल्फ फॉर दैट एज? क्या हम उस चीज के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं? लेट्स सी, आयदा इज बैक इफ शी इज एबल टू हियर अस। यस आयदा।
Sorry, you were talking about something?
That's perfectly fine. Yes, we were talking about कि how do you relate to this, कि भाई ठीक है टीचर्स तो होती है, लेकिन टीचर्स को हम आज के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं, आगे के लिए नहीं।
Yes, that's very true. I mean, there are so many new fields that are cropping up, especially related to programming, related to computer fields, digital tools. So many fields are coming up. So many new languages are coming up. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोग जिन चीज़ों पे हम concentrate कर रहे हैं आजकल, it's just going to make so many people's skills obsolete. There's going to be a huge portion of the population which cannot contribute anything to the workforce. और ये बहुत जल्द आने वाला है, and I think women are in the prime place कि हम लोग, because we are such a huge uh, portion of the workforce, we are in the prime spot to upskill ourselves and preempt all of this, whatever is about to come in the future.
How do we know where we are standing right now, Aida? How do we know that? Do you have something to prove it?
No, there isn't. But wherever you are standing, you need to start developing yourself, right? Now, it goes without saying that includes technology, that includes communications, that includes anything related to numbers, that includes your communication styles, and also includes training yourself in being more visible. A lot of the times, I mean, most of the times, women in the workplace who are finding out that this entire world has been structured around how men are comfortable working. Everything has been catered to them. चाहे वो workplace का environment हो, चाहे वो जो perks मिलते हैं लोगों को, right? चाहे आप salary की बात करें. Abhi tak, it amazes me how we are still in the debate of whether women deserve enough to earn the same as men. Abibi, we are paid less than men for doing the same amount of work, for going the same amount of days in the same industries. It is astonishing कि आजकल की दुनिया में अभी भी ऐसे ही है. इसी वजह से there are so many factors जिनकी वजह से women को लगता है कि हम क्यों आगे बढ़े. What's the point? हमें वो perks मिलने नहीं वाले, हमें वो payment मिलने नहीं वाली, ऊपर से हमें ज्यादा struggle करके, ज्यादा hurdles को overcome करके कोई चीज मिल रही है, वो भी इतना मजा नहीं दे रही, because आपको वो सहूलतें नहीं मिल रही आपको, you're not getting what you deserve, what you feel that you deserve, right? लेकिन let's scale back. ये तो हम बात कर रहे हैं about those women who actually want to go into leadership positions. हमारा सबसे बड़ा मसला ये है कि most women don't want to go into leadership positions. They don't feel themselves capable of it. And there are a few factors behind that. I mean, अगर आप देखें, हम लोग अक्सर कहते हैं कि the West is more kind to women. But अगर आप देखें तो globally stats are not so good. I mean, even in 2020 में एक analysis हुआ था of 1100 organizations, जिसमें एक वो, it's called a leaky pipeline. You've heard of the term leaky pipeline, right? So for especially for women in leadership, तो वो देखा गया था कि executive positions में the women make up only 23% of the workforce, जबकि support staff जिसमें administrative, secretarial, ये सारे काम आ जाते हैं, office administration वगैरह, clerk वगैरह, they are 47%. So 47% of the workforce is women when it comes to support staff, but managerial, your top positions, is just 23. And out of those, how many people are on the board? On the board of any company? Just a measly 12%. A lot of companies are trying to counteract this by making policies. बहुत सारे governments ने ये policies बनाई हैं कि कोई भी ऐसा board नहीं होना चाहिए जहाँ पे कम से कम एक lady ना मौजूद हो. ठीक है, all well and good. अपनी तरफ से उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी कोशिश की. They're creating a culture of diversity. बहुत अच्छी बात है. However, उसमें भी boards ने supersede इस चीज को कर लिया, loophole निकाल दिया. उन्होंने non-executive female को बिठा दिया board पे. जिसका मतलब क्या है, अगर आप नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव बोर्ड मेंबर हो, इसका मतलब है कि यू हैव नॉट ट्रैवल थ्रू द रैंक्स। आपने उस
Right.
कंपनी में कहीं किसी लोअर पोजीशन में शुरू नहीं किया, ठीक है ना, यू डिड नॉट
Mhm.
ग्रो प्रमोशन पे प्रमोशन पे प्रमोशन करके फिर आप बोर्ड पे आए हो। ऐसा नहीं है, उन्होंने आपको सिर्फ बाहर से कहीं लेके एक सीट दे दी, वहां पे बिठा दी डेकोरेशन पर्पसेस के लिए। यू डोंट हैव
Sleeping
एनी डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर। जी,
sleeping partners जिस तरह से होते हैं, they have
एग्जैक्टली,
they are not doing anything actually.
exactly. So on paper, these companies are diverse, but in actual
Right.
statistics, or statistics will show that. However, the actuality is कि ऐसा नहीं है। ये चीजें देख के भी ना हम women we get disheartened कि कौन मेहनत करे, कौन जाए। You know, there's other factors as well. I know that a lot of our what's it called? A lot of women also consider that they have to sacrifice more, especially when it comes to between their work life and their personal lives. अभी भी हम लोग उस balance में थोड़ा struggle करते हैं, right? तो यानी कि इन्हीं चीजों we need to find a balance between these two, and a lot of workplaces don't help us do that, especially when
Right.
it comes to children. So the sad statistic is, I was reading once, and it was really sad that 2/3 of managers who are men, like top level managers who are men,
Mhm.
they have children. Jabke when you come to women, 2/3 of managers who are women, sorry, 1/3 of managers who are women only have children. Baki don't, because they feel they need to sacrifice that to be able to move ahead. So
Exactly.
yeah, and that's another thing that's a huge deterrent for women. लेकिन अगर आप जैसे entering, when you talk about women who are entering the workforce, younger women,
Mhm.
they've just gone into it. Their ambitions are amazing. जब भी surveys निकलती हैं तो at least statistics ये दिखाते हैं कि 70 to 80% women have high aspirations. When they're at the beginning of the workforce, they have high aspirations. जी मैंने senior level तक पहुंचना है, मैंने mid level manager बनना है. I want to be maybe a CEO. I want to be, find, I don't know, start my own company.
Right.
But karte, over the next 10 years, somewhere along the line, they lose hope because there are
They
so
do.
many hurdles that come along, you know. And have you noticed, इसमें ना मैं ये कहूंगी, इसमें हम girls के अंदर एक ingrown hesitation भी है, in girls.
Okay.
Have you noticed in school when you see when you see girls and boys when they do the exams, उन दोनों के attitudes में कितना फर्क है? We as teachers we see it, right? तो लड़के मुश्किल से पढ़ते हैं, वो आखिरी लम्हे में पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है, थोड़ा
बिल्कुल।
बहुत पढ़ेंगे, फिर एक दूसरे से पूछेंगे यार मुझे ना कुछ सिखा दो, मुझे मुझे बता दो ये इसमें क्या हो रहा है। वो इस
वापस
तरह
पढ़ना
पढ़ेंगे। लड़कियां अपनी जी या लड़कियां अपनी अपनी किताबों में बस घुसी रहेंगी, ओ ये वो, फिर सारी रात जागेंगी और सुबह सुबह फजर के बाद उठेंगी, एंड बहुत मेहनत करने के बाद दोनों बैचेस जाएंगे, एग्जाम देकर आएंगे, वापस बाहर आएंगे तो उनके एटीट्यूड्स में फर्क देखिएगा। गर्ल्स कहेंगी पता नहीं इस क्वेश्चन का मैंने क्या, ये सवाल अगर मैं ये लिख लेती तो ये अच्छा होता, पता नहीं मेरे मार्क्स कैसे आएंगे। उनके चेहरे पे फिक्र लिखी हुई होती है। बॉयज को कभी देखा है, वो अंदर से कूदते हुए आते हैं रूम से बाहर, उनको
रोज
ना
जाग
परवाह है कभी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, पूछो तो वो कहेंगे कोई, सब सही है, सब सेट है।
बस हो गया ना, बस हो गया, बस चलो हो गया, देखा
बस हो
आपने।
गया और मैंने अच्छा किया होगा, लास्ट में अच्छा किया। उनके
हाँ,
कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल्स देखे कि
exactly.
डेफिनेटली सर तो हमें बस 60 to 80 मार्क्स देंगे ही देंगे, बड़े बहुत अच्छा किया हमने। अच्छा, मसला यहाँ पे ये है कि when this happens, statistically speaking, girls systematically underestimate themselves while boys systematically overestimate our overestimate themselves. ये across the board हो रहा है, and we do this all the time. ये तो हमने बच्चों की बात की, अगर हम बड़ों से बात यानी कि we talk about like adults, right, in the workplace. Let's say कोई project हुआ है, ठीक है ना, उसमें कोई प्रोजेक्ट बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल हुआ है, it was great, it was wonderful, ठीक है ना, पूरी टीम ने बहुत काम किया, but the team leader was a man, right? उससे पूछा जाएगा कि so what's the reason for your success? What do you think the man's going to say? Dude, I'm awesome, that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something like that,
And
right?
he would
Depending, it
give
will be
credit to everybody around.
except for herself. She's gonna
Except
say
for her.
teamwork थी, हम लोगों ने ये किया, it was a team, single effort नहीं थी और फलाना फलाना। Compliments लेना हमारा issue है. We don't give ourselves a compliment of success. We just don't. And this is our problem. We don't, we don't accept ke hum bhi success, we deserve it. और ये हमारी वजह से हुआ है. Women attribute their success to external factors, whereas men attribute their success to themselves.
Exactly.
100% themselves. भाई हमारा ही कमाल है, हम ही बहुत अच्छे हैं, बहुत अमेजिंग है, you know, जिसमें बुरा नहीं है. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि men are wrong here. I'm saying we have to be a little bit more like that. क्यों हम accept नहीं कर सकते अपने success को? We worked hard for it. We deserve to say I'm awesome. I deserve to say, dude, I did a great job. Fantastic. I deserve it. Pat on my back. You know?
Mhm.
So with so many women who express high aspirations, do you know? I'm just gonna put something in there. ये चीज शुरू में ही डाल दी जाती है इनसाइड बॉयज, राइट? हम लोग बॉयज से जब कॉन्वर्सेशन करते हैं, हम लोग अक्सर पूछते हैं कि क्या बनना है. बहुत प्रेशर होता है कि व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बी, हाउ आर यू, बिकॉज दे हैव द प्रेशर ऑफ बीइंग ब्रेड विनर्स, being the earners, the majority, earners in the household. तो उन पे काफी
Yeah.
प्रेशर होता है. ये प्रेशर से वो लोग सक्सेस पाए ना पाए वो एक अलग चीज है, लेकिन उनका एक माइंडसेट बन जाता है. आई मीन स्टेटिस्टिकली स्पीकिंग 47% of men who are going for their first interviews negotiate on their salaries. वो
Mhm.
एक्चुअली negotiate करते हैं, उनकी पहली जॉब है, पहली सैलरी, लेकिन उस पर भी negotiation है उनकी. ठीक है ना? Compared to women, only 6%. वो भी मैं कहती हूँ एक झूठ है. I don't think any woman does it.
There are people like me who does.
Saima, you are a
Yes,
rare
but
breed. क्या कह सकते हैं?
after coming to a point, actually, not in a very initial, very first job. A first job was like a blessing in disguise. So anything, whatever has been offered, I will take it. But in the passage of time,
Yes.
on the fourth or the fifth job, then I was like, no, sorry, I can't take this.
But you see, that's the difference. Men believe they are owed what they're owed. They have this belief. उन्होंने अपने अपना बार ही शुरू से हाई रखा हुआ है. हम लोगों ने शुरू से बार वहां पे मौजूद ही नहीं है. बार हम बाद में डालते हैं, देखते पता नहीं हम कैसे करेंगे, right? Now, why do you think that is, Saima? Do you think that's because of a lack of confidence?
No, it's actually somewhere or the other our culture as well. Are brought up as well, wherein we are asked to do things for our brothers sometimes for our father. You have to go and serve glass of water to your father as soon as he enters the house.
Yes.
Or you have to be making sure that you're listening to your brother. And if you're going out, somebody has to accompany you. That means either your brother has to accompany you or your father has to accompany you. They'll pick you, they'll drop you. And on the other hand, the boys, my brother used to go by all by themselves alone, going anywhere, coming at any point of time. Secondly, also that I have to be home by 5 in the evening, not later than that. But brothers are staying out for long, maybe 12 sometimes. So yes, there was a lot of everything that was happening in the house. I was very kind of aggressive child, so I had been pointing these things out to my mother as well, that why is he given all the permissions and why I am not given that permission. So that's where I feel it's always the balance is out. That's what I think. It trains you to be more submissive. It trains you to be more accepting whatever is coming your way, molding to the situation that you are in. So yes, it's training from the very beginning, I assume.
Yeah. And if you ask any successful woman, who is strong and she's hard and she's really, very sure of herself, oftentimes when you ask them कि ऐसा क्यों है, why are they like this? ज़्यादातर, I would say, बहुत बहुत ज़्यादातर वो यही, they attribute their attitudes to a supportive male figure in their lives. या तो वो father होंगे या एक supportive husband होगा. ये जब होते हैं ना, तो फिर when you have a supportive male figure in your life, especially जैसे आपने कहा हमारे culture में, तो women automatically they ascend on a lot of levels. फिर एकदम से उनके लिए प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट भी आसान हो जाती है, एंड आगे बढ़ना भी आसान हो जाता है, और एक कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल आ जाता है. तो ये भी एक इशू है कि women are unable to, because sometimes I feel कि ये projected भी होता है. Because the workforce, the women, the women workforce is so important to business, it's so important to any economy of the world, sometimes I feel women themselves, they stay back because इतना बड़ा challenge कौन ले, इतनी बड़ी responsibility कौन ले? Why is the economy dependent on whether I enter the workforce or not? लेकिन है, ऐसा definitely है, and statistically it's been proven. Research shows it, the data shows it, right? But women, they stay back because they're thinking about their lives. We as emotional creatures, which I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying कि आपने जो choose किया, अगर आपने choice की है कि no, I would like to remain home and have babies. It's wonderful. I think that is a choice that you are allowed and you should be making. But I don't think this is something that we as women should be forced to think that this is as far as we can go. We have to understand the realities of today's world. We have to teach our daughters because they go, I'm 36 now. ठीक है ना, हम 2020 पे खड़े हुए हैं और हम लोग इन बातों में बात कर रहे हैं, हम लोग इनइक्वालिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, फोर्स्ड और फेक डाइवर्सिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, हमारे पास कितने इश्यूज हैं वर्क प्लेस में भी, वर्क प्लेस से बाहर भी, ठीक है ना. मैं नहीं चाहती कि my daughter is now how old, she's 7. Well, I don't want कि when she's 36 years old, she's sitting with another person talking like this about the same problems that I'm talking about right now. ये मैं नहीं चाह
exactly.
रही. Again, and I don't think that women want that for their daughters. I want कि कुछ तो बदले. अभी यहाँ पे किसी ने कहा था कि comments में मैंने भी पढ़ा तो वो ऊपर चला गया comment कि अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह जिस तरह से हमारी mothers थी उससे उनसे तो हम बहुत बेहतर हैं. I 100% agree. Think about how where our mothers were, what kind of situation they were in, what kind of world they were in. Many of them didn't have equal rights to education, जो कि एक basic human right है. Right? They didn't have access to proper education, or even if they did, so they didn't. Some of them didn't do 12 years of education. So 12 years bhi kar liya. Some of them didn't get a college education because they weren't allowed to, because it wasn't necessary, because they were women. So Alhamdulillah, we have come very far. Tikana, we are not in those times. But what have we got to show for it? मुझे लगता है we've jumped out of the pot into the fire. We are not any better. हमें इतनी सहूलतें मिली हुई हैं, but we're not using them properly. We're not using them to push ourselves forward. ठीक है? And there are reasons that we should. अभी हमने यहाँ पे visibility की बात की थी, right? Have you opened websites? I mean, you're a technical person. You're constantly on the computer. You're constantly looking at different websites, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
would you, from your experience, be able to tell me what is the ratio of images that you see online being used by websites that are men and images that are women? What is the ratio, do you think?
Images in terms of displayed.
Yes, exactly. Images that are being used to display on their websites.
Okay. Well, if it is, it's mostly males because again, for the security purpose of one or the other security purpose, that females are not being displayed much. But yes, they've been used. I would rather say misused for some kind of products which otherwise should not be, displayed on their names, like shaving cream, motorbikes. You'll see
Yes,
females over there, but not in some productive task or productive things, not business, nothing like that, nothing promotion, no promotion of business as in such wherein you will find
yes.
females. But it is, if it is a product, selling of product, then you will find females over there.
Yes, exactly. Now, you're talking about cosmetic products. You're talking about, we see women in cosmetic industries. We see women in industries where basically, like you said, they're not selling the product, they're selling the woman that's displaying the product, right?
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
yeah, so let's come to companies and technical websites. What kind of men do we do? What kind of images do we see there? We see mostly men, right?
Men. Business, yes.
Mostly men. Now, it's about messages. Now, you're in the technical field. You know that a web presence is all about the message you are sending out to the masses. है ना?
Exactly.
आपका message आपकी company जो send out करती है वो बहुत key होती है.
Hmm.
But you don't. अक्सर companies क्या भूल जाती हैं कि many of their consumers, maybe 50 to 60% of the consumers are women.
Hmm.
उनको cater क्यों नहीं कर रहे, right? And मैं जहां तक समझती हूँ कि एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है of all the industries. हमें पता है कि STEM related fields are the least um, have the least number of admissions from women or from girls. You know, not many girls are taking interest in STEM related studies, right?
Mhm.
So they have a bigger responsibility to make themselves more accessible to women. How do they do that? There is this company, sorry, my mistake. There's this company in a place called Cumbria, United Kingdom, right? It's a middle level town. Anyhow, ये कंपनी है, एक इंडस्ट्री है. uh, इनकी वेबसाइट पे जब पहले जाते थे तो उस पे लैंडिंग पेज पे you'd have a man in a helmet, ठीक है, white male, older, you know, like much older, like 50s 60s में. He's standing there, he's staring at you. पूरी जो वेबसाइट है ना वो images of men से भरी हुई थी. इन्होंने क्या किया, इन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि हम लोग डाइवर्सिटी लेकर आएंगे. We want more women. तो उन्होंने पूरी वेबसाइट बदली. Now, in the landing page, when you go to this landing page, you will see a young woman, a very beautiful young woman, staring straight at you, smiling. They have, they are a company called, and you won't believe it, it's a nuclear power company. It's a nuclear power company called Sellafield, right? Sellafield
Okay.
is a company where it operates in the STEM sector, right? So they made this conscious decision to change their visibility. Um, Their message was, in the end, women are welcome here. They do well in this company. As a result of this, a lot of women joined their company. A lot of women decided to join apprenticeships in their company.
Okay.
अप्रेंटिसशिप क्या चीज होती है? वो ये चीज होती है कि आपने वो फील्ड नहीं पढ़ा हुआ, ठीक है ना, वहां पे कोई पढ़ाई नहीं की, लेकिन आप एज एन अप्रेंटिस ज्वाइन कर सकते हो लो लेवल उस पे जॉब में. And you learn, you get your technical knowledge, you upgrade
Training
yourself,
and
and
side
karte you rise above the ranks, है ना? So they
right.
got a lot of applications from women and apprenticeship, ठीक है? The national average, UK, ये UK company, the national average of girls and women in the UK entering apprenticeships in the STEM sector is 6%. The national average. Do you know how much it is in Cellfield? जो वहां की एक company है, 25%. ये इन्होंने
That
अपने
I
आप को 6% से.
that only.
Exactly. I
Nowhere
mean, just
else.
think about it. It's all about the image you project. And this is
Yeah.
what our companies need to do. ठीक है ना? हमने internal factors, हमारे अंदर internal factors तो हैं ही, ठीक है ना, that are stopping us. But there are external factors in the workplace. The workplace is generally not welcoming. And companies need to take a more conscious effort to welcome us, to be more welcoming towards women in general. That's it, that idea is so
Is it just
simple.
one-sided? But is it going to be just one-sided? It's going to be helpful. I mean, are we going to wait for the opportunities? We could.
No, not at all. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Tikana,
Exactly.
you have to be the change. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to wait for things to change and then I'm going to join. फिर वही होगा कि मेरी बेटी भी 36 की एज में यहीं पे बैठी होगी, किसी और साइमा से बात कर रही होगी इन्हीं issues को लेकर. That's not the world I want for my daughter, and I'm sure many women don't want this for the daughter. लेकिन ये खुद से नहीं होगा. ये हमें इन बिल बच्चों में डालना होगा. हमें उनको वो कॉन्फिडेंस देना होगा. वी नीड टू टेल देम द रियलिटी. सबसे पहले नोट करो, जहां जाओ, जिस जिस इंडस्ट्री में जाओ, जिस ऑफिस में जाओ, जहां पे भी जाओ, देखो how many women are there. Then try and analyze what the problem is. Is it because the management is full of men who just don't care about women? Is it because the workplace is unfriendly towards women? Is that it? Is it because women just don't get opportunities? उनको बस वहाँ sectors में चाहिए जहाँ पे front office हो, desk हो, खूबसूरत सी लड़की बिठा दी और बस खत्म हो गई कहानी. उसके आगे डाइवर्सिटी की बात ही नहीं करनी. क्या ये इस तरह की चीज है? तो there are a lot of companies in the world out there जो कि आजकल ना अपना image change करें, and they're working towards diversity. A lot of top companies, कौन सी companies जैसे L'Oreal, AIG, um, और कौन सी जो वो pharmaceutical Bayer is doing the same thing. Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is one of the major banks of Germany. It's being named as the top employer for women amongst 50. Taken a worldwide, they took 50 companies and it's been the top employer. And also, it runs its own program called Atlas. इस एटलस प्रोग्राम में क्या करते हैं कि जो भी वुमेन आते हैं, ठीक है ना, दे हैव द वुमेन इन डिफरेंट लेवल्स, तो वो उनकी खास तौर पे उनको एक मेंटर के साथ जोड़ते हैं और उनको डेवलप करते हैं फॉर सीनियर पोजीशंस.
Positions.
एग्जैक्टली, ये भी जरूरी होता है बिकॉज वी डोंट नो हाउ टू मेक आवरसेल्व्स विजिबल. हमें अपना, वी डोंट नो बेसिकली हाउ टू टूट आवर ओन हॉर्न. ये भी हमें सिखाना है. राइट right? कि हमारी अगर अकॉम्प्लिशमेंट्स हैं तो उनको सामने कैसा रखा जाए. एक झिझक है हमें, राइट, ये एक इनबिल्ट है. इनबिल्ट कह सकते हैं, कल्चरल कह सकते हैं, आई डोंट नो.
Right. You
राइट.
initially were telling me that you wanted to involve the audience into some exercise. Would you like to go for that?
Yes. Okay. All right. I don't know how many, what the ratio of men and women here is, but this has got to be interesting. Okay. So I have a question for you all, right? For both men and women. How many, we all are familiar with X-Men and Justice League and everything. So we all know what a superpower is, right? If you could have any superpower in the world, what would the superpower be? So you can go ahead, use the comment section. Just give me some answers, what you want, what you would have, what you would like as your superpower. It could be X-ray vision. Maybe you want X-ray vision. Maybe the power to throw fireballs. Maybe the power to read people's minds. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many things. Oh, maybe the power like Magneto. I don't know if you remember Magneto, Saima. Are you an X-Men watcher? Did you watch X-Men? No? Oh my gosh. I watched like all the movies. First day, first show. So there's this guy called Magneto. He bends metal, just with his mind. So maybe you want to bend metal. I don't know. If anybody has something that they would like to say, perhaps
Okay.
some
The
answer.
question that the question. Let me repeat the question for the audience. Audience, the question for you is that कि कोई सुपर पावर जो आपको चाहिए हो, कोई भी ऐसा सुपर पावर जो आपको चाहिए हो, जो कि आपके लिए बड़ा यूजफुल होगा for to lead your life or to be able to do something that is not possible otherwise. तो कोई सुपर पावर जो आप चाहेंगे अपने कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखना शुरू करें कि कौन सा सुपर पावर है जो आपको चाहिए है. Mansoor Shah is like asking, can I have a question? Can I ask a question? Mansoor, you can always ask a question. We're going to take all the questions towards the end, but yes, you can always ask. Put down your question as well. We'll take it as we go along. सुपर पावर्स का हमारे पास जवाब आता है. तो by that time there is one more comment from Mansoor over here. Female attracts more than male because the attraction is the best thing which creates big audience in just seconds. That's what
So
we don't
true.
want.
Exactly, exactly. It's
Yeah,
causing a negative image and it's also causing the workplace to become very negative for women. फिर यही
yeah,
होता है कि families कहते हैं कि नहीं, the workplace is not for women. यही तो हमने
exactly.
बदलना है, यही culture है जो हमने बदलना है. This is not right. Yeah. But it's
Sure.
true, and sadly.
हाँ जी, किसी को जो सुपर पावर चाहिए हो, योर विश माइट कम ट्रू. यहाँ पे हो सकता है हम आपको सुपर पावर्स दे दें. We can
Could be.
always think.
You never
There's
know.
no हाँ,
We did
think
promise to
high.
upskill them.
Then sky is the limit, of course.
Speaking
So
of
anybody
skies,
who's like,
how many people over here are how many people over here wish that they could, oh, look at that, we're getting answers over here.
yes.
Mind reader.
Uh-huh.
Mind reader to use in a positive way. Well, we're not going to ask, I promise you. I'm not judging. You can use a mind reader for whatever purpose you want, nefarious or otherwise. कोई मसला नहीं हमें. लेकिन mind reader, interesting. Okay, किसी और ने कहा to read creative minds. और भी specific हो रहा है. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And then
could
I
be.
need to be staying away
Um,
from this. She's a female here. Farzana, I think her name is. I'll be careful now. If she's
right.
typing that,
What about
then
you,
I need.
Saima? Let me ask you. What if you were given the choice between going invisible or flying? What would be your superpower?
I've always dreamt since I was very young. I've always dreamt to fly. Actually,
To fly. Yeah.
yeah. That
When you
I
ask
think
this
that's the
question,
reason why I've been seeing. I've been watching, the birds fly, and then I've been watching the, airplane passing by, or I've been seeing the kites flying in the air. It's something that always fascinated me, and I've always wanted to fly actually.
That's so cool. Most people who choose flying as their superpower, they're the ones who have a high aspirations. They're the ones who go into fields like entrepreneurship, and they're usually those people who जो भी hurdle ho, they plow through it, and they go high and high, and there's nothing that can stop them. Usually यही होता है. And most CEOs and most senior level managers, they always answer flying, most of the time, because they don't want to be, they want to be seen, they want to be on top of things. तो यही
Exactly.
हमें ना बच्चों के लड़कियों के अंदर लाना है कि the wish to fly, the passion to just take off and
Uh-huh.
fly. um
Right. Okay, there's
yeah,
some more
so
answers to read the minds of people. It's right away. Yeah, to read the mind of people, to educate every single child, especially living in the slums. And then when it comes to power, if I have power, I will equal women and men when it comes to rights. So you'll do something
that's
about
interesting.
that's a male now, Mansoor Shah.
That is, yeah, and that's very interesting, it's admirable. you know um a lot of companies are asking the question. कुछ ऐसे होता है कि हम लोग, जैसे हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि offices are not women friendly, ठीक है ना? तो कुछ एग्जीक्यूटिव से जब बात होती है, या फिर जो हेड्स होते हैं कंपनीज के, तो वो ये कहते हैं कि हमने फीमेल बाथरूम तो बना के दे दिया ना, इससे ज्यादा फ्रेंडली और क्या कितना हो सकते हैं? तो ये चीज भी समझाना corporate sector को कि how exactly to make their environment women friendly, ये भी एक proper program hai. There's a lot of corporate sectors, corporate companies जो एक program पूरा बनाते हैं, where not only they mentor the women, but they teach the men to how to be more sensitive, how to be more towards women, and how to जैसे कहते हैं कि जो भी टीम होती है, अगर उसमें women हो, या एक भी अगर woman हो, तो वो ज्यादा creative होती है, उनके ideas ज्यादा innovative होते हैं, ज्यादा creative होते हैं, right? It's good for business. तो वो चीज भी corporate sector ko sikhana is an entire program. And big companies and big universities like MIT are spending thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars just teaching the corporate sector. They're giving sensitivity training because more women are entering the workforce.
Uh,
And ये चीज इतनी
there
simple है.
There is
जी.
one more thing I would like to identify over here, particularly. I have been working on certain projects as well, and there are these government projects coming up wherein they are talking about gender sensitivity at the
Right.
very early age. Gender sensitivity to be taught at the very early age, and I found it really alarming. For time being, it was alarming for me because if it has been identified at that particular level, that means over at our level it's greatly missing. It's high time
It is.
that we be considering it. So
It's
if it
high
is
time.
identified as a gap, then definitely it's been identified from the the society today.
Yes. Yes. A lot of the times, if you notice, sometimes boys, we're talking about teenagers over here, right? From 14 to 17. Have you noticed how, because of the the perpetuating images in media, they often are sometimes a little bit inappropriate in their jokes towards girls, right? Their fellow
Exactly.
classmates, perhaps. They could make
Yes.
inappropriate comments, and there's nobody there to teach them that this is insensitive, or,
Exactly.
like I would prefer to call it, unacceptable. लेकिन obviously बच्चों के साथ अब ये नहीं कह सकते it's unacceptable, लेकिन यही sensitivity training में भी शामिल है. And yes, it is the need of the hour. हमारे youngsters को भी जरूरत है. So definitely, um,
Yes.
this
There are
is a
people who
this is a
keep
cultural
pointing about
thing.
superpower. There's this woman who said she wants to be invisible, and then there's somebody who's saying that I want to be a superpower of multiplying myself on different places at a time. Cloning. Oh my god, I would also love to go for
Oh
cloning.
wow. Acha, I have a question for the person who's saying, I wanted to do good, but not for shouts, do good quietly. मेरा सवाल ये है, if you don't do good quietly, बस एक सवाल है, I respect your opinion, but मेरा सवाल है कि अगर आप, you don't do it quietly, तो
Mhm.
क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? क्या, would you do less good because people are noticing it? Would you just stop doing good altogether? What's the difference? You know why, Saima? Because Menina, I was watching this lecture by, you've heard of the motivational speaker called Simon Sinek, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
So he was having this talk, and he was talking about how he was, crossing the road, just crossing the road. He was at a pedestrian crossing, और वहां पे उनके सामने जो एक gentleman थे, उनकी फाइल्स गिर गई, ठीक है ना, in the middle of the road, यानी कि गाड़ियां वहां पे खड़ी हुई ट्रैफिक स्टॉप पे, ठीक है ना, और उनको रश करना है, तो बगैर सोचे he bent down, he picked up the papers, और 2 मिनट लगे होंगे, 1 मिनट लगा होगा मुश्किल से, पेपर्स डाले फाइल में और फाइल्स वापस कर दी, सही है। तो he did it without thinking, and then he walked down the road. Another guy who was behind them watching him came after him, and he goes like, sir, I was so inspired by the way that you selflessly just helped that person. I feel so good after just watching you do that, and thank you for reminding me that being good is a top priority. Now my day is going to go good. So Simon Sinek was relating this example, saying that when you see people doing good, it encourages you and inspires you to do good.
Too good.
आप खामोशी
Exactly.
में good जब करते हो ना, तो वो चीज ठीक है, आपको satisfaction दे रही है, but because nobody else can see it, तो वो नहीं inspire हो रहे. But doing good is the most contagious thing that you can do. So
Exactly.
do good as loud as you can, and you don't need to do it for shouts, but you need to do it for inspiring people. So
Exactly.
that's my point of view on that one. But interesting
And
point.
otherwise, also doing good can be in different ways as well. Again, depending upon how what is your intention behind doing good. Is it a virtue of doing good, or is it a show off wherein you're giving out something to somebody and then you're showing it off that you've been so generous to be giving out things to people? Then again, I think that needs to be categorized as well, somewhere or the other, because
True.
there are some organizations which are going on to charity, but the purpose is not
Yeah.
charity. The purpose is to market themselves in the market, saying
Yeah.
that yes,
Yeah.
we
But
charity.
but don't you think कि इतना हम लोग मीडिया में वो देख चुके हैं, इतना तो हम लोग savvy हो चुके हैं मेरे हिसाब से, कि हमें जब नजर आता है तो हमें प्रॉपर नजर आता है कि दिस इज जस्ट अ मीडिया थिंग, इट्स अ वो वहां पे खास तौर पे वो फोटोज खिंचवा रहे हैं, और हाथ मिला के खिंचवा रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा गले में हाथ डाल के कि ओ लोग आई जस्ट जनरेट समथिंग टू देम, तो वो तो मेरे ख्याल में वो इंटेलिजेंट इनफ टू फाइंड,
Yeah,
राइट,
there was this
बट
one more campaign that I saw, Aida, wherein these couple of guys were standing right in the middle of the road, and they were showing as of they were wiping off the road, and there was a lot of water over there, and the way they were wiping it off, I mean, everybody could gauge they were not trying to to let the running water flow out of that place, but they were just pretending to do something. So it was so obvious. They were just standing
yes.
and just wiping it like this. Come on, it's not going to help. This is not the way. Everybody knows. So yes, there are certain things which are for marketing purpose. That's not inspiring because that eventually will make others also feel that uh, marketing it is marketing and it's not virtue reality. And it's not something that you're doing good. Yes, there are people who are still saying that yes, I would like to change this world and make it peaceful.
Yes.
I wish to change this world to
Zahid, Zahid, what I would say to you is that, again, this is just my opinion, but I believe that there's enough research and data to support whatever I'm saying, is that if you do wish to change this world, then you're going to have to not, you can't do it as one person. अब दुनिया बहुत बड़ी हो गई है, you need to push other people as well. आप एक अच्छा काम कर रहे हो तो आप दूसरों को भी push करो कि आपने भी करना है. And when it comes to the women, we need to encourage them to move forward, because we've seen that the more women contribute to different industries, the more the economy gets better, for countries. And ये statistically proven है. This is the whole point of it. Because they can अगर आप logically देखें, अगर 50% of the workplace is women, ठीक है ना, तो 50% is men. अगर उस 50% में भी, अगर उस 100% में से सिर्फ a small percentage promote हो रहा है, वो भी मर्द ही हैं, तो फिर half the workforce is just doing the job for no reason. There's no joy in doing the work. There's no vision. There's no wanting to move forward or pushing the company forward. Growth तो वहां पे होती है ना, where every individual is looking to grow themselves and grow the company as they move on. The most successful companies are the ones that have a growth mindset in each and every individual. इसमें both men and women शामिल है. तो इन व्हेन हम अपनी कल्चर, वैसे तो हम ग्लोबल स्केल पे बात कर रहे थे, लेकिन हमारे कल्चर में भी ये है, we really need to work on diversifying our workplaces, diversifying, and this starts from a school level. I'm a teacher, you've been a teacher, we are from the education field, ठीक है ना? लेकिन we program our children a certain way. हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पहले शुरू होती है कि हमने उनको किस तरह से प्रोग्राम करके जाना है, क्या उनको सिखाना है। एंड क्योंकि हमारे पास एजुकेशन है, their small, their young immature minds are with us, we need to provide the, you know, आपकी, I'm going to circle back to what you said, we're preparing them for workforce of today, not for tomorrow, right? To become part of today, not become part of tomorrow. क्योंकि हम खुद, we're not part of tomorrow. So upskill yourself, and then you are better equipped to give the proper skills to the younger ones. I would say that.
So it's a ripple effect that you need to be coming to some
Yeah,
level, then you will be able to create an impact. Otherwise, you are not able to create that impact.
exactly.
Yes, and that means
Exactly.
at least I would say that all those women who are in the education, because when we look into our culture again, most of our teachers are female at the early years
Yes.
level, at the primary level, at the middle school level.
Yes.
It's only at the higher level that there are more males than females. At the
Again,
higher,
we come back to, yeah,
yes,
exactly. But then
yes,
we come back to, again, STEM related fields, right? Why is that though? Why? Because women can't be experts? Why can't we be experts? Have you heard of imposter syndrome?
yes,
You have, right? Don't you
yes,
feel कि a lot of women, अगर उनको on the spot, you know, they're experts, they know they are, ठीक है ना, वो अपने field को जानते हैं, लेकिन अगर उनको on the spot, but you know, we put them on the spot and we ask them a question, उनका expert opinion, they have this feeling कि oh, I shouldn't be, you know, मुझे एक imposter syndrome आ जाता है, I shouldn't be the one giving advice, I shouldn't be the one, क्या ये मेरी जगह है, क्या मैं सही हूँ, क्या मुझे आगे बढ़ना है, ये हमारे पास ख्याल आते रहते हैं, and we are victim to this often times, चाहे हम जितने भी अच्छे हों अपनी jobs में,
बिल्कुल,
right? तो and this, like you said, it has a ripple effect, इसलिए हम लोग पीछे पीछे हट जाते हैं. um I met this girl. I don't know कि वो कहाँ से उसकी प्रोग्रामिंग थी या कब से, पर उसने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात मुझसे कही. हम लोग वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस की बात करते हैं, राइट? एंड वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस बहुत जरूरी है, उसमें बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स भी आते हैं, बट मैं हमेशा सोचती थी कि वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस के बारे में मैं तभी सोचूंगी जब मैं एक्चुअली उस स्टेज पे आऊंगी, यू नो, वेयर आई हैव किड्स एंड आई एम मैरिड एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. ये एक यंग सी लड़की मेरे पास आई थी, शी वाज जस्ट एंटरिंग द वर्क फोर्स. तो मैंने उसके एम्बिशंस के बारे में पूछा, एंड शी सेड टू मी कि हाँ, आई एम नॉट दैट एम्बिशियस, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि मुझे ना आई मीन मैं अगर बहुत ज्यादा काम कर लूंगी, बहुत ज्यादा आगे चली जाऊंगी, तो बाद में शायद मेरा दिल नहीं करेगा, या मेरे लिए मुश्किल होगी टू हैव चिल्ड्रन, या यू नो, टू बी रेजिंग माय चिल्ड्रन. तो मैंने उससे पूछा, मैंने कहा आर यू प्लानिंग, आर यू प्रेग्नेंट? तो कहने लगी नो. तो मैंने कहा okay, are you planning on having children now? She was like, no, I'm not even married. I was like, are you engaged? No, no, I haven't found the right person yet. I'm like, then why, woman, are you thinking about this? देखिए इसमें दो
because
चीजें
that's the
कंसिडर
last
करने की
resort.
हैं.
Because that's the last resort.
इट इज. इसमें दो चीजें कंसिडर करनी है, ठीक है ना. अब हम ये सोचते हैं, हम अपने आप को रोकते हैं कि नहीं, फ्यूचर में बच्चों का क्या हाल होगा, इस वजह से हम अपने आप को रोकते हैं. फिर बच्चे हो जाते हैं, फिर उसके बाद हम लोग कहते हैं कि चलो, सम ऑफ अस दे से ओके वी वांट टू गो बैक टू द वर्कफोर्स.
Hmm,
हाउएवर, अगर आपने एक पोजीशन अपनी बनाई हुई होती है, देन इट्स इजी फॉर यू टू गो बैक. वरना आप यूर बैक टू स्क्वायर वन, जीरो पे, और वो
बिल्कुल,
बहुत मुश्किल होता है. फिर वो
बिल्कुल,
सोचती हैं कि ओ माय गॉड, मैं क्या करूं, कैसे करूं, किस तरह से करूं, कोई जगह ही नहीं है. तो
बिल्कुल.
यू सी, दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज अ डबल एज सोर्ड. आपको
Hmm,
प्लान प्रॉपर करना चाहिए, इस तरह से
बिल्कुल.
नहीं हो सकता. तो आई एम
And
सॉरी, यू
I
वर अबाउट टू
remember,
से
I
समथिंग.
remember there was this one thing that I seriously could relate to as well. कि जहाँ पे when I was very little kid, जब मैं I went out and I wanted to study, I always wanted to take commerce as a field. But my parents were very conservative. They said कि नहीं, boys school में, boys college में नहीं जाना है. तो commerce college एक ही college था पूरे कराची में, which was co-education and it had commerce in it. बाकी प्राइवेट तक की तो सोच ही नहीं है कि मतलब आपने क्या पढ़ना है प्राइवेट प्राइवेट में जाके, आपने इवेंचुअली शादी करनी है एंड यू आर गोइंग टू गेट मैरिड एंड यू गोइंग टू हैव चिल्ड्रन, सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू स्पेंड दैट मच टाइम एंड मनी ऑन यू. सो प्राइवेट का तो कॉन्सेप्ट फिनिश हो गया था वहां पे. चलो गवर्नमेंट में देखा तो भाई एक को एजुकेशन नॉट अलाउड. तो कॉमर्स वाली फील्ड छोड़ दी, छोड़ के फिर आर्ट्स वाली फील्ड ली, एंड व्हाट सो एवर केम टू माय, विच एवर वे पॉसिबल, लड़ लड़ के झगड़ झगड़ के जो है वो लगता है कि मैंने मैट्रिक किया, फिर मैट्रिक के बाद इंटर किया, इंटर के बाद जो है वो अपना ग्रेजुएशन किया. आई केप्ट ऑन स्ट्रगलिंग फॉर माय ओन एजुकेशन. बट when people would say कि why don't you go in the professional field, and I would say नहीं, फायदा क्या है, इवेंचुअली शादी हो जाएगी, शादी हो जाएगी तो बस वो ये कि झाड़ू करो, पोछा करो, घर की सफाई करो, यही तो करना है, खाना पकाना है, और दैट्स इट. That's the ultimate result. That's the end destination, and that's what the entire journey is all about. And that was there in my mind one way or the other. But things did change, and it did develop again. Like the way you earlier said that we always give the credit to our male members. So yes, there was some or the other my husband involved, wherein he gave me enough liberty to go on actually. Not that he helped me in the professional field wherever I am, but at least he gave me this much liberty to go on and take it on as a challenge and work it on my own. So this is where I always give him the credit. But yes, whatever I am, I would say it right on this platform that whatever I am, I have earned for it. And I think that's what was needed out of this entire conversation, I believe, Aida. Am I right?
Yes, yes. And every one woman can get there. What do you think, Saima? How do we break out of this? There's a lot of women in the audience and some men as well. A lot of women would be
Right.
asking, ठीक है, all right, मैं अभी जॉब कर रही हूँ, मैं बिल्कुल सही हूँ, and मैं comfortable हूँ जहाँ पे भी हूँ, ठीक है, it's good to be comfortable. लेकिन
Uh-huh.
how do we move on? अगर हमने खुद को directly इसमें नहीं डालना कि we need to push ourselves forward, so we need to push the women in our lives, right? Women से मेरा मतलब अपनी बेटियों को भी, अपनी बहुओं को, जो भी whatever the women are, or your sisters, friends वगैरह. So what would you say should be the takeaway that women should have from this conversation?
I wouldn't be able to pull out a takeaway for women, but there is one thing that I would surely want to say over here is that I myself have been trying with a lot of women who are already into a job field. I've been asking them to become entrepreneurs, and I've been giving them that little finger that they always need to hold and get up from wherever they are. So yes, there are a lot of organizations developing because of this support that I've been able to provide. Because I know the initial stages which you might have to undergo when you have to open up your own organization and stand up as an entrepreneur.
Right.
If you are upskilling yourself, that's what I would like to say it on this platform is keep upskilling yourself, identify the gaps that you have, where you are and where you want to be. You need to create that roadmap, you need to create the milestones, and then keep upscaling yourself when you are able. When you upskill yourself, that's what I believe, either very strongly. When you upskill yourself, you have that self confidence in you. You have that standing in front of anybody. You have no stress because you know exactly where you are and how to solve the
Yes,
problem rather than sitting with
yes.
the problem. And then you are able to figure out how things may work out for you. But if you don't upskill yourself and you're sitting over there, thinking about somebody is going to come and get you out of there, sorry, nothing is going to happen. At least you need to take 4 steps so that somebody is able to hold your hand and pull you out of wherever you are. So
I'm going to
think
add
of
one
those
more thing
four
over
steps.
here.
Yes.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That is the best advice. I'm just going to add a little bit over here, which I believe is very important. Women thrive when there's a sense of community. Women supporting women. जब एक नेटवर्क इस तरह का बनता है जो कि बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि alone we can't do it. मर्दों के लिए आसान होता है कि वो कहते हैं कि we can do it on our own, and yes they can, but from a cultural perspective, from an emotional perspective, or generally the way women are, we thrive on community. तो हमारा नेटवर्क बनाना बहुत जरूरी है, and this is something that you, I know, are doing as well. Like you said, you promote women. um
Yeah.
I feel कि यहाँ पे एक वो effect होना चाहिए where we women have to think a pay it forward attitude. आपने मेरी help की, I need to go on and give those skills to somebody else. Help them. चाहे वो pro bono ही क्यों ना हो, right? Just do it expecting nothing back in return. फिर then encourage them to move on and pay it forward. तो इस तरह एक कम्युनिटी बनेगी, women supporting women, तभी मेरे ख्याल में हम लोग चेंज होंगे और हम लोग अपने आप को प्रॉपरली, जैसे आपने कहा, अपस्किल कर सकेंगे.
I really, really am looking forward to this thought of women helping women. makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm really looking forward to people. I being a woman, I'm ready to support all those women who are willing to upskill themselves, but that willingness has to come from you, and it should be something that should be internal and not external. It should come as an
Yes.
internal force, not an external force. Not because I am pushing you, but something that's in you that has to come out as in, passion, as in something that is burning inside you. And definitely there'll be people, you will be able to find coaches, you will be able to find trainings, you will be able to find women of the your own kind. And here we are already ladies sitting over here. We are taking an oath that yes, whoever would be willing to join us, and we'll be able to, whoever we will be able to support, we will be always there. Are we
Yes.
on the same page, Aida?
Yes, definitely. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of me being here talking to you today, to encourage the women to get up, form a community, bring out their networks, join a network if they don't have one. Um, I'm not saying male support is not necessary. Absolutely. It's wonderful. You felt the benefit of it, but not a lot of women have that luxury, right?
Right,
Though
right.
women need to support women. That should be enough.
Agree, totally agree. That was a lovely message from you, Aida, and thank you for so much. I mean, that already has been the entire conversation has already been concluded, and it's making quite sense. It's close to my heart as well. Looking
Yeah.
forward, definitely for all those people who want to come forward and join a community. We are going to be launching a community. Let's do it together, Aida, and let's
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 do it.
invite everybody to join in, and let's we invite males also to join in, but only for the
Yes.
support purpose. Yes, nobody is going to be penalizing anything, but yes, you're going to join in to support women whichever way possible. We invite all of you. We can create a consortium, we can create a community which is going to be for women support. So maybe for womenpreneur, wherein we can create, entrepreneurs out of women, or
Yeah.
maybe all those professionals that can be developed under the same
Yes.
platform.
Yes.
So, any last message from you, either, and then we can sign off.
Uh, I'd go back to Mahatma Gandhi's statement: be the change you want to see in the world. Go back, think what change you want to see, what kind of world do you want to give your daughters, and bring that change into effect. There's no more excuses. It's now or never.
SWOT, strengths. Find out your strengths, find out your weaknesses, find out the opportunities, and find out the threats. Work on your strengths and suppress your weaknesses. Take the opportunity and take the threat, and come out, come forward, work with us. We are really looking forward to work with all of you here. Thank you so much, Aida, for being on this platform. It was lovely having you here. I hope you will be able to pass on a message which may go really viral. I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us on this conversation. And hope were able to make some mark, and we were able to give some takeaway for you to take. You need to think about all that needed is right now is that you need to think about. So hope you'll be able to think about something. We are going to be waiting for lovely responses, lovely comments. Subscribe the channel and join us on our next talk, which may be more connected to this one. Thank you so much for being with us. For now, we'll both say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye.